Any idea how this works? No. Yeah, like three. No. The projector. Which settings are five? Foundations. One maybe. Is that one? Oh, that's HDMI out. That's the wrong one. HDMI 2. Oh, shit is connected so. Select two now. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay. Okay, أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا وهالا وفهما في الدين يا رب العالمين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. So Faisal, you didn't really miss anything. I was just trying to figure out the projector. It wasn't working. So you haven't really missed anything there. Um, okay. So I think the way the test will work is not today, it's going to be next week. You'll probably still have your class. So you'll have um, a window of 3 hours to do the exam. It's not going to take you 3 hours. It's probably going to take you maybe an hour and a half, or even less. Most of the questions are multiple choice based. So when you do the exam, you'll have, I probably will open it up from Friday morning all the way till maybe Monday or Tuesday morning. So you'll have up until then to do the exam. So, but you have to do it in one go. Once you open it, you won't be able to, stop and then continue at a later point. So you have to do it in that slot. Once you start, you have to finish. So you'll have around 3 hours to do it, but you won't need that much. And it'll be from the beginning till mudaf and mudaf ilayh. For example, a question might be, what are the four properties of the ism? right? So you know the answer. Case ending, number, gender, type. What are the two rules for a mudaf? No noon sound and no al or no tanween. So these are the type of questions. Then you have application as well. You might have a bit of vocab in there as well. So things that you've learned. And don't panic if you come across something uh, difficult. It's just to judge for yourself where you are, what your gaps are, and what you need to work on. Okay, so don't worry too much. Right, any questions before we move to the next part of our lesson from anyone? What did we do last time? Anyone remember? What did we complete?
Was it the next fragment as well?
It was the last fragment.
Yeah.
موصوف صفة.
Also, Sifa was the last thing that wraps up for the five fragments. Out of those five fragments, which of the fragments are the ones where the two words or the two parts have to be together? Right? Because each fragment has two parts. موصوف صفة جار مجرور مضاف مضاف إليه حرف نصب أنواع اسمها اسم الإشارة and بدل. From those five fragments, yeah,
جار مجرور
جار مجرور, yeah,
المضاف مضاف إليه.
yeah, that's two. Is there a third one? What about the first fragment?
اسم الإشارة.
Yeah, because the ismul ishara has to be followed by a word which has an al. So those two words also have to be together. So the first three fragments that we learn, the two parts have to be together. Nothing can come in between them. Whereas the last two, the mawsuf sifa and the harf nasb and its ism, those two parts don't have to be together. So there could be something else coming in between them. Okay. Okay, now we come on to Jumla Ismiya. So we've done words, right? We've done ism. We've done ism. We said about the ism. There are four things you need to know about the ism. The case ending, whether it's rafa, nasb, or jar. The number, whether it's singular, dual, or plural. Gender, whether it's feminine or masculine. And the type, whether it's definite or indefinite. Then we did, after the word, we brought words together by the way of mudaf, mudaf ilayh, mawsuf sifa, jar majroor. So we did that. We did the five fragments. Now we come on to making sentences. And in the Arabic language, you have two types of sentences. The word for sentence, anyone know what the word for sentence is in Arabic?
هي جملة.
Yeah. Jumla. Jumla is the term you use for sentence. I know it says sentences, yeah, I'm sure Jumla is a singular. Jumal is probably the plural. So Jumla means nominal sentence, not sentences. Jumla Ismiya. Can you see what kind of arrangement this is? Ismiya means nominal. Nominal, does anyone know what nominal means? No, okay, forget that. Jumla Ismiya, what kind of fragment does this look like?
موصوف صفة.
Also sifa. Jumla is your mawsuf. Ismiya is your sifa. Ismiya is describing jumla. What kind of sentence? Nominal sentence. Okay, so that's your mawsuf sifa. So we're coming on to jumla ismiya. And the other type of sentence, you only have two types in Arabic. Jumla ismiya and you have jumla. Any guesses from anyone?
فعلية. Oh, the one.
Yeah. So you have jumla ismiya and you have jumla fi'liya. So ism, fi'al. Ismiya, fi'liya. So any guesses what it might mean for a jumla ismiya versus a jumla fi'liya?
This is going to start with the verb.
Yeah. Ismiya will start with a ism. Fi'liya means the sentence is starting with a verb. So jumla ismiya is a sentence which begins with an ism. So if I started a sentence with a verb, it's no longer a jumla ismiya, we call it a jumla fi'liya. Okay? So we've learned the four properties of the ism. We've completed the 5 fragments. Now we're looking at jumla ismiya, which is a sentence which begins with an ism. What's the main difference between a fragment and a sentence? Is the is. As soon as you say is something, you have a sentence. So for example, you said the black car. Is that a fragment or a sentence? Fragment. As soon as you have is and a part after the is, you make complete sense. Hence, you have a complete sentence. So if you say the black car is expensive, now you've got a sentence. Okay. Now, if you guys remember with mudaf, mudaf ilayh, how many words are there?
2,
2. But when you translate it, how many words are there?
3.
3. What's the third word?
Of.
So you have to, when you find a mudaf and mudaf ilayh, sometimes you have to insert the word of in between. That's only if you find the mudaf, mudaf ilayh. So the word of is hidden. The exact same thing applies to jumla ismiya. There isn't a word for is in the Arabic language. You have to insert that yourself and you have to know where to insert it. Okay? So the word is doesn't exist. But once you meet the conditions for the sentence, then you'll insert the word is when you're translating it yourself. Okay? So if you guys remember, right in the beginning, we did simple sentences. We had a part before the is, and we have a part after the is. Anyone remember what we call the part before the is? Mubtada. And the part after the is?
The khabar.
The khabar. Mubtada, basically, when we do a bit of sarf, you know it has root letters which is ba, dal, and hamza. Bada'a, which basically means to begin. So mubtada is the beginning of the sentence, the part before the is. Khabar, anyone know what khabar means? News, yeah? So you're giving, so mubtada is the part before the is, the khabar is the part after the is. Mubtada begins the sentence, khabar comes to give you a bit more information about the thing that was mentioned in the beginning, right? So mubtada brings about an idea, and the khabar comes to complete the idea. So for example, I say the book, right? The idea or the thought or the beginning of the sentence is the book. The next question is, what about the book? If I say the book is new, now the new comes and gives you complete information or comes to complete the idea of the book. But if I said the blue book, do I have a khabar? Do I? If I said the blue book,
No.
I can still ask the question, what about the blue book? If I say the blue book is missing, then now I've got a complete idea. When you say the new book or the blue book or the expensive book, it's not complete. It's a bit of information, but it's not complete. Okay? So that's what the khabar does. The khabar comes, and we're going to learn there are different types of khabars that come. I don't think that's in this level. It's probably in the next level, I think. But there are different. For now, what we need to know, there's a part before the is and there's a part after the is. The part before the beginning of the sentence is called the mubtada, and the end or the part after the is called the khabar. So what are the rules? Mubtada comes first, usually comes first, which means there might be times where the mubtada comes second. But the rule is mubtada usually comes first, followed by the khabar. The mubtada has to be rafa, and the khabar is usually also rafa. Okay? We will learn when it's not rafa. What's the key difference between, how do I differentiate the mubtada from the khabar? The mubtada has to be definite, or usually has to be definite, and the khabar has to be indefinite. Both words are going to be rafa. You've got two words. Both of them are going to be rafa. The first word, however, is going to be definite. The second word is going to be indefinite. Okay? And the final point is both parts have to agree in the number and the gender. So here we're still dealing with the four things about the ism: the case ending, the number, the gender, and the type. Okay? So what are the rules to summarize for Jumla Ismiya? Mubtada comes first, khabar comes second. Mubtada is a rafa, khabar is a rafa. Mubtada has to be definite, khabar has to be indefinite. And those both words have to agree in the number and the gender. For example, if I made the book dual, the khabar also has to be dual. If I made the mubtada masculine or feminine, the khabar has to also agree with that gender. Okay, so we'll do some practice and then it'll make a bit more sense. So here we've got khabar is of 3 types. And the other one we will learn the khabar is of 5 types, which is fine. I'm going to cover maybe 1 or 2 today. But I just want you to have a look at this for example here. Al-kitabu jadidun. Okay, we've got 2 words here. Al-kitab is the first word, jadid is the second word. Mubtada comes first, khabar comes second. Mubtada, what were the conditions for a mubtada?
To be rafa and indefinite. Or definite, sorry.
Yeah. Mubtada, the first word has to be rafa and it has to be definite, and the khabar has to be rafa and indefinite. The main difference here is one's got an al, the other one does not have an al, meaning one's definite, the other one is indefinite. Okay? So what happens when it meets all the conditions? When you find a mubtada and a khabar, you insert the word is in between the 2 words. So you say al-kitab is jadid. Okay? Now if I changed it and I said al-kitabu al-jadidu, what happens then?
You say into a fragment. Is it not the new book?
Yeah. So what changed then?
The is disappears.
Yeah. So the second word was no longer indefinite, it became definite, hence it became a mawsuf sifa. For you to have a sentence, the first word has to be definite and the second word has to be indefinite. If I made them both definite, then there's an issue because it becomes a mawsuf sifa. Okay. Any questions on that so far? No? Right? No issues there? Okay. So in this I think level we're learning khabar is of 3 types, depending on how you look at it. So khabar can either be of 3 types or it can be of 5 types. But for now, I want to cover khabar, only 2 types of khabars at the moment. I want to cover this one here, khabar, when it's just 1 word, and khabar when it comes as a jar majroor. Okay, I'll briefly mention this one as well. Okay, so here we're learning khabar is of 3 types, though it can also be considered as 5 types, and that we will cover in level 2. Khabar can be a single word. Khabar can come as a jar majroor, and khabar can come as a dharf. So we'll cover that in a moment. Okay. So first example, Al-Kitabu Jadidun. We said Al-Kitab is the mubtada, Jadid is the khabar. So what type of khabar do you think this is?
The first one.
Yeah, which is a
Good.
single word. Yeah. There's only one word. And when it's one word, the khabar has to have what kind of ending?
Indefinite. Rafa.
Indefinite, and it has to be a rafa case ending. Okay. This is the most basic jumla ismiya. 2 words. First word is a mubtada, second word is a khabar. First one has an al, second one has no al. This is the most basic jumla ismiya you can get. Now in the second case here, al-talibu fil fasli. What do we have here?
P is a preposition.
Yeah. So fil fasli is what? Together, what do you call it?
No.
What's the
Jar
term?
majroor.
Jar majroor. Okay. So first of all, where's your mubtada?
At-talib.
Does it meet the conditions for a mubtada?
Yes.
What are the conditions?
Indefinite.
And
Rafa.
Rafa.
Rafa. So mubtada, for the talib to be mubtada, it meets the conditions of coming first. It meets the condition that is rafa, and it meets the condition that is definite by the al. So now what are we looking for? We're looking for the khabar, which is the part which comes after, which is the part after the is. So is fil fasli one word? No, it's 2 words. It's a fragment, jar majroor. So this is your second type of khabar. The first type of khabar was a single word. The second type of khabar comes in the way of jar majroor. So as soon as you see jar majroor and you're looking for a khabar, this is your second type of khabar. So when it's jar majroor, it can't be rafa. Alright? Because jar majroor means that the word is it's 2 words to begin with, and jar majroor means the second word has to be jar fil fasli. So together, fil fasli is your second type of khabar. The first type of khabar was one word. When it's one word, it has to be rafa. When it's not one word, when it comes like this, fil fasli, then together fil fasli is your khabar. So where do I insert the is? Where do I put this imaginary line?
Before the fee.
Before the fee, you say at-talib is fil fasli. So what's the meaning? The student
Is in the classroom.
in the classroom. Okay, so there's no is, you have to insert the is. But you have to find the break in the chain. Where's the break in the chain? Where's the break between the mubtada and the khabar? Now the third type.
A quick question on that one, Ustadh. Just scroll back up. You know how you got a talibu,
Mhm.
but if we have, I don't know, al talibu al jadidun fil fasli.
Yeah, you can
You
have
have,
that.
but then
Yeah.
the is would still go before the fee, and the jadid is describing that, and then becomes a mawsuf sifa.
Because if you had, that's a good question. If you had at-talibu al-jadidu, can you separate at-talib from al-jadid?
No.
No, because they're connected, right? So if they're connected, you leave them connected. So at-talib, and we know al-jadid, when we say al-jadid cannot be your khabar because the khabar has to be usually indefinite if it's one word. But al-jadid is also got an al. If you said at-talibu jadidun, then you'd say, okay, that's a mubtada khabar. But because you said at-talibu al-jadidu, that's a fragment. So you leave them connected. Then you have to find the break in the chain. The break in the chain will still be between al-jadid and fi. So you'd say the new student is in the classroom. All right. Now your third type of khabar is something called dharf. Anyone know what a dharf is? We've done this before. We briefly touched on it in your special mudaf section. So there were a group of words we learnt in mudaf, mudaf ilay that are always mudaf when you see it, and they usually have a nasb ending. And those words are considered as dharf. Dharf is to do with, you have two types of dharf.
Direction or place.
Dharf zaman, dharf makan. You almost had it. Time or place. Yeah. I think this is a direction. Yeah. So dharf is an adverb. It indicates where something happened or what time it happened or when it happened. So it could be a place or it could be to do with time. So when we say under and above, are we referring to place or are we referring to time? Place. So when you see these adverbs, when you see these dharf, that is your third type of khabar. So all those special mudafs that you learn, qabla, fawqa, wara'a, there are a few more. When you see them, that's your third type of khabar. So let's look here then. الطفل الطفل تحت السرير. الطفل, is that your mubtada? It's rafa and it's definite. So it meets the conditions for a mubtada. What is tahta? Tahta is a dharf, or it's your special mudaf. So tahta السرير is your mudaf ilay, and is your third type of khabar. So I don't want you to worry about this one too much. The ones that I want you to worry about is the jar majroor one and the one word. So what are the three types? The one word one, the single word one is called mufrad. Mufrad means one. And the second type was jar majroor. Those two I need you to know. This third one, if you understand it, great. If you don't worry. Now I want someone to go through this one themselves and explain it to me. هذا مدرس. هذا مدرس. Anyone have any idea? It's a simple sentence. هذا مدرس. مبتدا خبر. Is it a mubtada khabar to begin with? So work through that. What are your conditions for a mubtada?
Rafa.
And definite, and it has to come in the beginning. So هذا Is it definite?
هذا is definite.
Hada is definite because it's the one of the 7 types of words which are definite. Is it rafa?
هذا is not is
Yeah.
not
Hada is a word which looks the same in rafa, nasb, and jar. Hada will always be hada. Hada, hada, hada. Then hadani, hadaini, hadaini. So hada is rafa because there's no reason for it to be nasb or jar. It is definite and it's coming in the beginning. So hada may be a mubtada. But for you to say it's a mubtada, you have to find a khabar as well. So you look at mudarrisun. What's the conditions for a khabar?
and indefinite.
Rafa and indefinite. And is mudarrisun rafa and indefinite?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you say, what type of khabar is it?
Um,
Is
What's the,
a single word.
what's the Arabic term? Mufrad. Single word. So the way you would describe it, you would say, هذا is your mubtada, mudarrisun is your khabar, mufrad. Khabar, meaning it's the khabar. And what type of khabar is it? Mufrad. If it was jar majroor, you would say khabar, or you would say jar majroor, khabar. Whichever way you want to say it. But now, if I said هذا المدرس, what happens then?
no, this is this teacher.
Yeah, it becomes a fragment.
Then it becomes اسم الإشارة والبدل.
Yeah, then it becomes a fragment. اسم الإشارة والبدل. But هذا مدرس, you say هذا is مدرس. This is a teacher. Okay. مبتدا خبر. Okay, now next one. Take some time. See which words are connected. If the words are connected by means of a fragment that you've learned, then you know you can't put the is there. So figure out where to put the is, figure out the parts.
The is go just before جديد.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
got هذا.
yeah, so I want you to tell me which word will be the mubtada, which word will be the khabar, because it has to be, the mubtada has to be one word.
So مدرس is your مبتدا.
Okay.
المدرس and جديد is your خبر مفرد.
Yeah.
هذا
Almost. What's hada then?
هذا المدرس is your اسم الإشارة والبدل.
Okay. That's fine. What was the condition for a mubtada?
Has to come first.
Has to come first. What comes first? Hada or al-mudarris?
هذا.
Hada is coming before al-mudarris. So your mubtada is something that begins the sentence. So hada has to be the mubtada. What's al-mudarris then?
So I think المدرس and جديد are together. This new teacher, like a fragment.
No. So Faisal was right when he said hada al-mudarris is the fragment. Ismul ishara and badal. So the way you would describe this is hada is the mubtada and al-mudarris is the badal. Because mubtada and khabar has to be one word, ideally. You can't have 2 words for the mubtada. And the only time you can have 2 words for the khabar is when? When it's jar, majroor.
That's a question.
Yeah.
But one of the rule for cover, it has to be indefinite,
Yeah,
right?
jadid is indefinite.
Yeah.
Yeah, jadid is indefinite.
Yes.
And
But
it comes, yeah.
he said al-mudaris is the cover.
No, khabar is jadid.
Okay.
Al-mudarris is the badal.
Okay.
Al-mudarris is connected to hadha because it's hadha al-mudarrisu. These two words are connected. Al-mudarris and jadid are not connected. So that's where you put your is. So really the sentence would have been hadha jadidun. This is new. Or you would say al-mudarrisu jadidun. The teacher is new. But because these two words are connected, I can only choose one word, one word from them to be the mubtada. And mubtada is the one that comes first. So hadha came first. So I choose hadha as the mubtada and I just say al-mudarris is connected to hadha by means of badal. And then jadid is the khabar. Any questions? So how will you translate this, by the way?
This teacher is new.
Yeah. If you thought al-mudarris is the khabar, then you would have said this is the teacher. Well, we know these two words are connected, so we can't put the is in between. This teacher is new. So that's a skill that you have to develop. Where do you put the is?
So just to change that sentence to
Mhm.
say, for example, this is a new teacher.
This is an yeah.
You
Yeah.
just got هذا المدرس الجديد.
No. If you say this is a new teacher, remove the al.
All right, yeah. So هذا مدرس جديد.
Yeah. So let's do that sentence now. Ignore the al on there. Imagine the sentence was هذا مدرس جديد. What's your mubtada and khabar now?
Mubtada would be hadha.
Yeah, هذا is a mubtada and the khabar is مدرس. This is a teacher. And then what's jadid? The role of jadid then?
Also صفة.
Also sifa. So you change the words, then what becomes mubtada and khabar is different. هذا مدرس جديد because the sentence would be هذا مدرس. This is a teacher. جديد is now going to be connected to مدرس. Okay. So you have to see what the connections are. Okay, let's look at this one now. أنا من باكستان. Where's your mubtada? Where's your khabar?
Ana is your mubtada.
What are the conditions? Does it meet the conditions?
Yeah, because it's one of those undeclinable words.
Yeah, so it's always, this is the rafa version.
Yeah.
So remember your detached pronouns
Always.
are always rafa.
Def-
And it's definite because it's one of the 7 types of words. Pronouns are considered definite. So ana meets the conditions for a mubtada. Where's your khabar?
Meaning Pakistan because it's a prepositional one.
Yeah. Jar majroor. Why does Pakistan have a fatha, not a kasra?
Because that is also partly declinable.
Partly declinable. Yeah. So ana is your mubtada. Min Pakistana is your jar majroor khabar. So how would you translate ana min Pakistana?
I am from.
I am from. So when we say is, or the equivalent of is if it's singular, or if it's plural, and then if it's first person, you say I am. Not I is Pakistan. I am. All right. Now let's have a look at this. Huma tabibani.
A detached pronoun, isn't it? So the huma is going to be the mubtada and is
Yeah.
rafa.
Yeah. And where's your khabar? If there is.
They are 2 students.
All right. Tabibani is indefinite because there's no al. And it is rafa. What type of khabar is it?
Singular.
Mufrad.
Yeah, mufrad. Khabar, mufrad. Okay. So what do you see here with huma and tabibani? What's changed?
Dual
The dual
masculine.
So If it was huwa, you would say huwa, what's this?
طبيب
Huwa tabibun. Then you say huma tabibani. So remember the rule between mubtada and khabar was they have to agree in two things: number and gender. Okay. Now that rule we always struggle with. What's going on here? Al-kutubu kathiratun. What's kutub?
Plural of book.
Yeah, plural of kitab. So you what al-kutub? Does it meet the conditions for a mubtada?
Yes.
Yeah. Rafa and definite. Get that into your minds. Mubtada, rafa and definite. So now you're looking for your khabar. Khabar is a word which comes second or after, and it has to be rafa. So kathiratun seems like it meets the conditions, but what's the difference between al-kutub and kathiratun? One looks masculine, the other one looks feminine. What's that rule?
Right. We treat rational plurals as
Yeah.
singular feminine.
Irrational plurals are treated as singular feminine. Okay. So the translation here would be the books are, what's the meaning of kathira? Plenty or a lot or many. Okay. But al-kutub is plural, kathira is singular. Al-kutub is really masculine and kathira is feminine. So this is singular feminine. As soon as you see a word which is singular feminine and the word before it or the word that is describing its plural, it's the rule of irrational plurals being treated as.
All of a sudden, wọ́n tún lọ sókè. Ó tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ reading from beginning, which is.
We need to go on mute, bro.
Just keep in mind if your mics are on and off. Al-kutub kathira. Okay. All right. So that's jumla ismiya in a nutshell. Very, very brief. There are a lot more rules to jumla ismiya, but this is the very basic rules that you need to understand. Mubtada is something which begins the sentence. Khabar comes and completes the idea. Okay. Mubtada usually comes first. Khabar usually comes second. Mubtada has to be rafa. Khabar has to be rafa. Mubtada has to be definite. Khabar has to be indefinite. Okay. And how many types of khabars have we learned today?
3.
3. Mufrad, which means one word. Jar majroor. And the third one was
Zarf.
Zarf. Okay. So words like tahta, fawqa. So if you have a look at your special mudaf section, you'll see all the special mudafs or the zarf there. Words which end with a fatha. You will see that there. So let's do a bit of practice. Okay, let's look at number 7 here. I want you to translate but also identify where's the mubtada and where the khabar is. Anyone? أنا في السوق الكبير.
So which page is it?
This is page 44.
Okay, 44.
I'm starting off with number 7.
So Ana's a detached pronoun, which is your mubtada.
Yeah.
في السوق um,
In the
is your
market.
Yeah. في السوق is your.
is your khabar. It's a jar majroor, but the suq will be the khabar, and suq al kabiri will be your mawsuf sifa.
So which part was your khabar?
Suki,
Mm,
suki.
في السوق.
في
في السوق.
السوق.
Because if you say one word, that means that one word has to be rafa. Remember, when the khabar is just one word, it has to be rafa. Asuqi here is jar. So you say fisuqi is
Is your
your
khabar.
jar your khabar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really the sentence is just ana fisuqi. I am in the market. Al-Kabir is extra information. It's describing a suq. I am in the big market. Okay. Ana mubtada fi suqi jar majroor khabar. All right, let's look at number 8.
And just a quick question: the kabiri, the reason why it's in jar is because of the because that's the matching.
Yeah, it's your mawsuf sifa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, mawsuf sifa means it has to match in all 4 things. Okay, sending, number, gender, and the type. So number 8 is 2 sentences. Al-qahwatu baridatun. Then you got your second sentence. Washayu harun. So you can have jumla ismiya after jumla ismiya after jumla ismiya. So here, al-qahwatu baridatun is your first jumla ismiya. So where's your mubtada and where's your khabar?
Mubtada is the al-qawatu and the
Yeah,
khabar baridatu.
yeah. Is your khabar. Al-qahwatu is your mubtada, baridatun is your khabar, mufrad, single word coming as a khabar. Then your second sentence it begins again. Shayu harun. A shay is your mubtada, harun is your mubtada, and harun is your khabar. So the coffee is cold. Sorry, yeah, the coffee is cold and the tea is hot. Okay, number 9.
Oh, it's beautiful.
تلك هي مبتدا.
Yeah, give me the whole explanation and I'll affirm or reject.
So تلك is your مبتدا. السيارة is your خبر مفرد.
Mhm.
No, it's not. 1 second.
Try again.
Uh,
So tilka is your mubtada, jamilatun is your khabar, mufrad. What's as-sayyara doing then?
is connected to tilka.
Yeah, by the way of badal. So you got ismul ishara and the next word has an al. So tilka sayyara is connected. All right, good. So the sentence really is tilka jamilatun. Mubtada khabar. As-sayyara is connected to tilka. So that car is beautiful. Okay, number two. Actually, number one. Go on, number one now. هذا مفتاح البيت.
هذا is the مبتدا.
Mhm.
مفتاح is the خبر.
Yeah, and what's al-bayti doing then?
Connected مفتاح. مفتاح
How is it connected? By way of مضاف مضاف إليه. Yeah, al-bayti is connected to miftah by idafa. It's mudafan mudaf ilayh. So what type of khabar is miftah then? Khabar?
uh, جار مجرور.
No, jar majroor is
مفرد.
ba'da mufrad. Yeah. So هذا miftah. So the sentence is this is a key. But al-bayt is also connected to miftah. So you say this is the key of the house. Okay, this is the key of the house. But this is the house key. So هذا is your mubtada. Miftah is your khabar mufrad. And al-bayti is your mudaf ilay. So you put the is between هذا and miftah.
Ustadh, if you want to say this is my house key, would you just change the ending of bait
Mate. You have to make it into
to
a
add a Y to it to make it?
yeah, why? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but how would you say it though?
هذا مفتاح البيت. No?
So you want to say this is the key of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my house, when you say my house, what fragment is it?
House, mudaf.
Yeah. So you have to make bait mudaf mudaf ilayh, which means bait cannot take an al. So it has to be, remember, how do you say my book? Kitabi. Bayti is my house. So هذا مفتاح بيتي.
Oh, okay. Yes.
All right, inshallah, we'll stop here. And then next week we'll continue with more of the questions from this. And then we move on to Jumla. So next week will definitely be your test. I'll open it up from Friday morning. So if you're off from work or whatever, you can start. But make sure you have 3 hours. Once you start the test, you have to complete the test. So you've given 3 hours, you don't need 3 hours. Multiple choice, and there will be some other questions as well, but predominantly it'll be multiple choice questions.
How many questions will there be?
I can't remember. There's quite a lot on there. But if you know your stuff, you'll go through it very quick. And if you get stuck, and if you're try and not use your it's not an open book test. Try and not look at your notes or things like that. It's for you to figure out where you guys are and what you need to work on, or what you need help with in class. So next week we are making a start on Jumla Fi'liya, which is verbs. So we're going to come on to, we've done past tense, we've done present tense, we're going to recap that, and we're going to learn how do you say a command? How do we form the word iqra? Where does iqra come from? So how do we form commands, or how do we tell someone don't do something? So forbidding, all that will come in the next 3 or 4 lessons. We're going to cover that. Okay. If there's no questions, we will stop here. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.